Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
When Winston Churchill arrived in Uganda, he looked at the beauty of this country, very green, the various weather patterns, and said, you know what? This is the Pearl of Africa. In case you're a visitor, welcome to the Pearl of Africa. You've come at a time when we are in our second rain season. Now, Uganda is unique in one way or the other because very few countries have two rain seasons. We have that is the March to May, then August to December. And today being the 2nd of August, it's very clear we have started our second rainy season. So for Ugandan, rain should not be an excuse because you know it is the season. But that said, well, we have a group of people that are more or less soldiers. Very, very, very similar in one way or the other. The only thing is they don't hold fire weapons. Usually I see them with the ropes. You see them with a bit of bayonets. But this is not to harm, but rather to help them excuse the various missions. What am I referring to? That is the Scouts. Have you heard of the Boy Scouts or the Scouts movement in Uganda? Were you once a Scout? Or never? Well, the people I have in studios today will give you more information regarding scouting, regarding the Uganda Scouts Association, and more important, the National Scouts Camp that is going to be running from the 25th to the 30th of this month, and the closing ceremony, they expect His Excellency, their patron of the Uganda Scouts Association, to be closing that camp. Join me, welcome Professor Dr. MAGGIE KIGOZI, who happens to be the Chairperson Board of Trustees of the Uganda Scouts Association. You're most welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
And at the extreme end, I have, that is Moledu David, who is the National Executive Commissioner, Uganda Scouts Association. You're most welcome, David.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, countrymen.
Now, to begin with, I'll begin with Professor MAGGIE KIGOZI. Yes. When we talk about scouting, actually, when I was young, I first thought scouting was only for the boys.
That's true.
Because the other side, we had the girl guides who would have this khaki, the one you're putting on, they had the blue and something else. So, throw more light on scouting.
Yes, originally it was Boy Scouts and Girl Guides. But as you're aware, the world is made up of both. So the Scouts took on girls as well along the way. But originally, you're absolutely right. It was Boy Scouts and it was Girl Guides. But the Girl Guides are still there. They haven't taken on boys yet, but I'm sure they do have them at levels of the board, and you know they have men there, and of course they work. We believe the same. We do the same things differently, but yes, Baden-Powell started both scouting, and his wife started Girl Guiding, and yeah, the principles are the same. It is, you know, to bring up young people who are innovative, who are independent, who are community-oriented. Ours is to help the community, and that's what we do. And they camp, they do things, and then they make friends. The friends we make are global, actually. We have friends everywhere. There are scouts everywhere, in every country, yes.
And now, David, when we talk about scouting, how does one become a scout? Because I was a scout from about P1 up to P7. Of course, when I went to secondary, we didn't have this. Tertiary, university, I didn't see that. And now I see People like you putting on the attires that I used to wear when I had shorts by then it is of late that you find primary schools with trousers. So when does one become a scout?
Thank you so much, our host, and thank you so much, our viewers. My name is David Mledu, and I'm the National Executive Commissioner for Uganda Scouts Association. The question is very straight and clear. When and how does one become a scout? I should come out clearly and tell the world that scouting is an international youthful movement. Us, the adults, are there to inspire and train the younger ones, and even manage programs and property on their behalf. For example, in the studios, I've come with the Professor Dr. MAGGIE KIGOZI. She's a chairperson, Board of Trustees. That is an implication that the property are under her custody, but for the interest of the younger ones. When does one become a scout? Anytime you can become a scout, but we are having our leadership hierarchy, our management officers from the local grassroots at a unit, at a school, at a sub-county, at a district, at a region. We have national officers and also international officers. But what I would encourage is that we are having leadership at district level that are in charge of recruiting the scouts at the grassroots. And right now as we talk, we are grateful to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who also adds up as the patron of Uganda Scouts Association, who gave a directive that Uganda Scouts Association should be under the Ministry of Education. Previously we were under Ministry of Gender because we are the biggest youth group. So we were there because of that part of the youth that we handle. But because scouting now is educational and so much into schools, His Excellency thought it wise and then guided that we should be under the Ministry of Education. So recruitment is so much ongoing in schools. But at the same time, we are having open troops. These open troops are in communities. They handle both scouts in schools and those out of schools. The program is very rich. We are now training the scouting skills, but also the life skills, the business skills that can make one be very useful to himself. One should be useful to the community. We do that basing on the principles of scouting, which are duty to self, duty to others, and then duty to God. We encourage scouts to be very prayerful and to believe in God, and at least to do a good turn every day.
Well, very interesting. Now, Professor MAGGIE KIGOZI, scouting, one of the areas, like David rightly said, recruitment happens in schools. Why would a child, or why would a parent allow their pupil, their son or daughter, to join the Scouts Association? Because, you know, co-curricular activities are very important. But sometimes parents' perception of some of these things becomes a problem.
Yes, to fellow parents, I have been a mother. My children are grown up now, but I'm now also a grandmother. So I believe, and for myself as well, when I was young, co-curricular activities actually contribute immensely, especially when it's something like Scouts to your life. Scouts are always learning different things. You know, they don't have to learn only from books, as parents seem to think. We learn from one another, we learn from our trainers, we learn globally, we learn for the community. So we get skills in so many areas that we would not have got in school. And on top of that, we make friends. This Your friends are not necessarily just your classmates. Scouts are friends forever. You will be together, you will move together for the rest of your life with your patrol or patrol leader. They always respect us. You meet a scout, it's, oh, there you are, chief scout, or now I'm trustee. They respect us. And wherever you go, we are there. Scouts are in every part of Uganda and actually the world. When I went to Sudan, because they were here, the Sudanese students study here. Again, they say, oh, Chief Scout, there you are. We're happy to see you, you know. So you have this network. If you're in trouble and you're wearing this uniform in any country in the world, they will help you. One of our, he was in the next office some years ago, was given a drug to put him to sleep on the bus going to Nairobi. And he did, he slept and they took everything. And then when they got there, what do we do with it? But he was in a uniform. They put him out there in the reception of the bus station. He was just helpless. Little boys were walking past. They saw him. This is a scout. They ran to the scout office. They came, they picked him up, took him to hospital. So that is the kind of thing we benefit from by being scouts. We have the very little one, the cute ones, the cubs. Nursery school, maybe primary one. They just play. They learn by playing. Yes. Then we grow a little bigger. We learn more about the environment. We learn, you know, health. Skills. You learn how to manage a crisis. If somebody collapses, what do you do as scouts? And then security. We are so proud that UPDF, the police, they all recognize us as the people who keep security without a gun. When there's a scout standing there, be it at Kololo when there's an event or at your own event, and there are scouts, nobody's going to mess up because we are disciplined.
And I've seen that on several occasions where scouts are very interesting people, and they work so close with security forces. A number of them, and I must also admire the uniform so much, despite having picked off at primary level. Now,
but no, once a scout, always a scout.
There's a scout.
Yes. Now, at your age, you cannot go and join the troops, but you join us. We are the leaders that make it possible. We are volunteers. We are not paid. The neck here gets a little salary because he is a day-to-day and he runs the office. But he's the only one and about 3 or 4 people. The rest of us volunteer. We are there to help the young ones.
Definitely. On the 25th, I must be there till the 30th. I'll find ways to participate.
Thank you.
Now, going back to David, let's go to the national camp.
Yes.
This is not the first of its kind. Even when we were in school as scouts, we would go to KIGOZI and have these camps. They were very interesting. So first, let's understand what is the essence of these camps, because truth be told, they attract a lot of scouts.
Yes.
Not only in Uganda, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. So what, you know, it's something that has been there. I don't know, this is for how many, this is maybe the 30th or what, but what is the intended
Over
purpose
100 years.
of these national camps?
Yeah, thank you so much, our host. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having our national camp this August holiday. It is starting on 25th of August and it will officially close on 30th. Like our host is putting it correctly, that it attracts thousands of scouts at our home at KIGOZI. Why many scouts gather at KIGOZI is because we have exciting program for them during that week of camping. At the same time, we are having what we are calling training for leaders. It's called the Wood Badge course and the basic training course during that training. The little ones are undergoing the skills that are prepared according to their age. And also the adults are also undergoing training that is organized at their level. so that they can have the skills to handle the youth of this country. We are also having what we are calling competitions. Actually, last month and that month of June, we've been having competitions at district level, purely in scouting issues. They would have their district camps and also district competitions. So the 3 best schools at district level will now come to national level and compete. So at district we are having inter-school competitions, yet at national we are going to have inter-district competitions. And the district that will win, or the districts that will win, will now go for East African competitions. We are supposed to go to Tanzania this time, is going to be our host, so we will go there. But to be very direct to the point, we have told you scouting is education. So these competitions, we task these children to answer a few questions. Some are theoretical, other questions are practical. Then also as scouting, we have decided to have a theme of innovating the next steps in scouting. We are also saying we want a scout who is a responsible citizen, a scout who will grow and be a responsible mother, like our mom here, Professor KIGOZI, like myself, their commissioner. How are we doing this? We are going to have pieces of land allocated to them. They are called the campsites. And they are supposed to construct a duplicate of a homestead, right from a gate, a house. For us in scouting, we call it a tent, where every patrol is supposed to spend a night. So they construct it using local materials. They are supposed to put a plate stand, they are supposed to put a kitchen, they are supposed to put bathrooms, they are supposed to put gardens up to the backyard. You know? So that is a demonstration of what a homestead is. In our rural areas, for example, me I come from Busoga, in Mayuge, Iganga, down there. We are having local authorities running around the villages to force some parents to dig pit latrines. But scouting is teaching this young one that when you grow up, you should marry a wife, you should build a home and put a pit latrine and put a kitchen and put a plate stand. We teach these skills at this early stage. You see? Then we shall also have sports. We shall have swimming competitions. We shall have netball, football. We shall have rugby. We shall have MDD, music. And then we shall also have another group of the youth. Those are the ones that are advanced. They will be undergoing a certain workshop, which will also be skilling them. And we are having a forest at KIGOZI, and Professor Dr. MAGGIE has already provided or donated binoculars and other gadgets that can help us improve on tourism. So this time round, we shall also train the scouts that are not going to be undergoing competitions into different skills, and tourism is one of them. We want this young scout from Gulu, from Rukungiri, from Mbale to become an ambassador of tourism.
Good. Because
we are gathering many of them at KIGOZI. So that would be a skill that will promote tourism in the whole country. Thank you so much.
Now, that is so much important and relevant to a person. Now, Professor, I want to look at the impact of scouting to the community, because you mentioned 3 areas. You work on personal, then community, and the other was love of God. And so let's go to what is the impact of this movement or this association that is growing day by day and has been there since so many decades?
Well, first of all, the impact on a person. You are here and you may not realize it, but those things you learned at KIGOZI, they affected you, and you are now implementing them at your personal level.
I used to fear sleeping outside at night. That is very true. And when I got my small tent from Nakasero and we were told we were going for camping, my mother was a girl guide, so she had encouraged me so much. I picked it from my mother, and my dad was coming from another world completely, wondering. And one time he asked me, "Are these things, are they examinable by UNEP? You know, why do you waste
your time?"
Then my mom was so passionate, and she liked that uniform, the shoes, the bonnet, the rope.
I tell you.
So I had fear of sleeping. Even if you'd send me out to pick something at night, I would not go.
Ooh.
I was in primary 7, primary 6. So it was the first time I slept outside. And you know, KIGOZI, you would hear some
forest.
Sounds of all that. The first night was hard, really, but the good thing is we were a bit many.
Yeah.
The second night, it was normal. So when I came from the camp, and my dad saw how brave I had gotten. You know, some children, sometimes they're so pampered that moving on the rope and all that, you know, seeing so many people actually was also another thing. Socializing, not only with people of my school. So there is a way it created confidence and the courage to move on.
Excellent. So thank you for giving that example of yourself, but it has impacted all of us very, very similarly. You were asking about the community. At Tusker Day, we truly think every day I should help at least one person. And preferably, if you are me in my position, many people. So we take that from scouting and we live it on a day-to-day. So we are quick to volunteer. And really, I want to talk to Ugandans here because they don't volunteer anymore. The first question is, what will I be paid?
Yes.
We are never paid. What you get from volunteering is networks. Yeah, you will meet all these other people. You will have the community grateful to you if you've come up with some ideas for them. If you've helped with the football pitch, you've helped in church. For us, we are community, so they are going to have a big event. We will be the security. You don't have to hire all those policemen. We in our uniform will be there to make sure you are secure. We know first aid. You are having a problem and you've had a traffic accident. The scouts in the neighborhood will run to you. They know how to make a bed. This is called a bed.
Stretcher.
A stretcher. We know how to make a stretcher out of other materials. We'll carry you to the hospital. So those are the kinds of things that our scouts do, and they take it at all levels, and you have to be ethical. We do believe very seriously in God. We don't have a single religion. The Muslims are there, the Christians are there. So on Sunday, we'll make sure churches are working. On Saturday, the Pentecostals will make sure they have somewhere to pray, even at KIGOZI. And the Muslims on Friday, again, we'll make sure the sheikh is there. And of course, we have leaders who are sheikh. We have leaders in all these religions.
Yes.
So we'll make sure. So we really teach ethics and also community service very, very strongly. And that differentiates a scout from any other person. Now you're scared, being scared at the camp. Yes, we also understand our forest. We have a forest. And the forest is really, we have the best forest near Kampala. There's none other.
Yes.
The nearest is otherwise Mabira. So that's why Nick talked about tourism. We have birds, we have monkeys, we have all kinds of things. But definitely there are snakes in that forest. But our scouts are trained. So that few days before you come, the scouts come, they'll make a lot of noise. Snakes do not like noise, so they'll be going around making noise and hitting the bushes. The snakes will all run away, so you should not have worried about snakes. And even yourselves, when you do your camp, you make sure you camp in a safe place.
And definitely the campfires also.
Yes.
The fire as well,
The
yes.
campfires,
Oh, yes.
Very interesting. Now this brings me to knowing who are the expected participants. Because I must tell you there is so much that happens there and is very, very interesting. So who are we expecting and who shouldn't come?
Thank you so much. First of all, I've aired out that we are having competitions. So teams that have qualified at district level will automatically qualify to participate in that area of competitions at national level. But at the same time, we are having what we are calling non-competitors. These ones are supposed to come and they undergo a training program. This time round, we are encouraging even parents to come. You can come and camp with us. You can come on our opening and closing ceremonies. The opening ceremony, we are expecting the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Nabanja, and the closing ceremony, we are expecting His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to come and officiate the closing ceremony of the camp. But still, there is a question you asked about the impact of scouting to the communities. We are running projects and programs at Uganda Scouts Association. And to be brief, we are having what we are calling the malaria campaign, the HIV/AIDS campaign. We have what we call the water protection project. This one, we go into communities. We find when they have a well, then we turn it into a spring well with water that is protected. We do the construction and put a pipe, and this water pours 24 hours. We are in partnerships with different countries. For example, UK has done a great job in Busoga via water protection project. And then we are having the Canadian Scouts that even last year and this year are going to come, and they have been busy in the districts of Ruengo and the Greater Masaka region doing water protection project. That is an impact to the community, because a parent to a scout is going to fetch water from that water source that is having safe drinking water. We also having a project on environment protection. For example, we are having a nursery bed at KIGOZI, and next week we shall be planting 2,000 trees in Mukono, 2,000 trees in Ruwero, and 2,000 trees in Impigi. So that is still environmental protection campaign that is being implemented by Scouts of Uganda and all other districts. And also we are into agriculture, particularly coffee. Right now I have over 60 Scouts in the field trying to do a campaign of adding value on our coffee. We are also having a project of our own as Scout, or as Scouts organization. I cannot leave the studio without mentioning it. Scouting teaches one to be self-reliant, but we're also looking at the organization itself being self-reliant. It is true we have been requesting for donations here and there, but now we are saying we have our pieces of land both at national and district level. We have started putting programs and projects there that can generate income. And this is through partnerships. We are, for example, having a partnership with the Ministry of Works, and we have put a marine and rescue center at KIGOZI. This will have very positive impact on the communities around the water bodies. For example, Lake Albert and the whole of Lake Victoria will be monitored by that rescue center at KIGOZI. And also, we're also having a project where we are constructing our Scouts headquarters at KIGOZI. We are putting there modern conference facilities, hall and conference facilities. We are having a hotel for accommodation. And when we have a camp, our leaders will be accommodated in the hotel. And after the camp, the hotel can still stay as an income generating project for the association. Yes.
Now, all that said, Professor Maggie, how does this association generate money? Because the Scouts are in a number of projects, like you mentioned.
Yes.
There are times where we see them doing community cleaning. painting zebra crossings. There's so much, I must say. But the big question is, now, why do these people, I've always asked myself, despite this being out of people volunteering, a culture we lack so much, then how do they run day-to-day work and all this? Organizing this camp is not a small thing. Yes.
Yes, that is a challenge, and with some of the activities like the business side of buildings and to address the lack of funds that we often face. But I want to say that we volunteer. The adults are volunteers, but still they do need transport sometimes. They do need to be facilitated. We want to thank the Ministry of Education, which took us on board. And they do give us a small amount, actually I would call it really small, basically covers the running of the office.
Yes.
And then we have membership fee, which we need to strengthen, because I think we're not getting as, considering we have at least 2 million scouts in Uganda, and you, the adults, can continue to pay life membership, and so we need to add to do a little bit more to ensure that membership fees are paid. You are part of an association. There are a number of benefits you get from it, and but your membership fee, which is a very small fee, should be paid. So that would be another income generating activity. The schools really want us. They want to have scouting, and now that many schools are actually private, they are willing to contribute to the trainer that comes to them every week. They are, but that would be directly to our decks, and as Nick explained, we are all over the country, so you don't have to come here when you are coming from Lira. There's a deck there, and there are trainers there, so you just need to call them, and they would find time to come and support you. Then we have donor projects. Talked of Canada, talked of France, UK. We do have a number of donor projects. Scouts, from scouts in those countries. They love coming here, first of all. They bring a group, they have fun putting water for people, and they see people being very happy. They love that. So that's what Scouts do. Then we have the Africa Scout Foundation, where we are fundraising funds, and then able to support various projects. So money is a problem, like I guess it is for all of you, and government did reduce funding to many of the institutions and ministries they support over the last few months, so didn't leave us out of that. Plus we went through COVID, which was a difficult time for everyone. Yes, so we are coming out now, coming back stronger, and we want to see that any child, our challenge is the child who wants to become a scout but cannot find where.
Yes.
We must make sure that there is a trainer available for every school in the country, if the school wants, if the children in the school want. So that's our big challenge. And that's where he said, training, training, training. I think you had training over and over, because we need to train so many people. There are so many schools, universities. I think we want to appreciate the Ambassador Kateregas. He's our chief scout as well. But his university is outstanding in being, one that supports scouts and has so many scouts. Yes, so we are hoping other universities will also take up that, because that generation of scouts are the ones now going to get employed, and they are the ones who can really make a difference in this country.
Well, very interesting, I must say, given the vital role that scouts do, but also so much of building character. Building character. One of the things I've observed, the movement, if a child begins maybe pre-primary, but I'll be more P1, there's a very big difference of a student, of a people who is a scout compared to one who isn't. As far as resilience is concerned, as far as confidence is concerned, as far as order, time management, because I told you earlier that scouting for me, I look at like another force in its own way. The discipline that it impacts in a child is something that every parent should embrace and desire their children to go through scouting. Well, time seems to be flying. David, as we continue to look at the national camp, that is the 25th, the 30th of this month. Now, you've talked about the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Nabanja, will be opening, and we expect, you expect His Excellency to do the closing like he did last year.
Yes, and many years.
Every year,
Yes.
almost.
We are proud of him.
What do you intend to achieve from this particular, I think it's the 20th? 25th.
Yes.
Yeah, 25th national camp. And how unique, because they have been there 25 times now. This is going to be, what should we expect, and what is the uniqueness? What is going to be done different from the previous?
Thank you so much. What is so special about this camp? One, we are looking at the discipline, the moral fiber. We are into days that are faced with lots of challenges. We are now hearing about this GID, BT, things like that. We wouldn't love our scouts to get, our youth of Uganda to embrace such activities. So to be very straight to you, we are looking at building the proper moral fiber of the youth. Scouting is a peaceful force. We are messengers of peace. We are going to have a training on what we call safe from harm, on peaceful approaches. And then this time round, we are also skilling scouts in the areas of IT and also areas of entrepreneurship, and making them to be tourism ambassadors. So I encourage every parent out there, every head teacher, district education officers, regional coordinators, or the scout leaders in the country to bring their scouts to KIGOZI. The program is very, very good and very exciting. I'm pretty positive the scout will leave KIGOZI much more better than he will enter it.
Wow.
And also, yes, and yes, and also we missed the Patrons Day. The patron for Uganda Scout Association, as earlier echoed, is His Excellency the President. So we are looking at using this opportunity also to have him. We're expecting him at 10 a.m. at KIGOZI, and he will spend the whole day with the youth of Uganda. He has done this before, and the scouts get inspired, you know, by some of our national leaders, like His Excellency the President. And we're also having some developments at KIGOZI, as I've mentioned. So the President will commission the Scouts headquarters, the Marine and Rescue Center. You know, these are very important because we are looking at innovating the next steps. Some of the developments we are mentioning here, we've been going to KIGOZI for more than 100 years because scouting started in Uganda in 1915. But such developments have just started last year and now due for commissioning. They have never been there before, you see. So it is very important that we also come together, train together, plan together, work together, and promote scouting within ourselves and outside the country. It is important, and we encourage all troops to come to KIGOZI. We are ready. We have started on the preparations. Power is now fully connected to the entire campsite. National water is now fully connected to the entire campsite. All the demarcations and site allocations have started. The competitive wing is now ready. The non-competitor is ready. The university, you know, the Woodbadge training area is also ready. Security, we've already contacted the office of the IGP. We also have security at KIGOZI, which was also offered by His Excellency. We are having UPDF at KIGOZI. So everything and all preparations are in high gear, and we are ready to host the Scouts. A few years we were a little affected by the COVID, and we could not camp at all. Some 2 years we missed camping. Last year the numbers were low, between 3,000 to 4,000, but now we expect the numbers to triple because there is no COVID.
Okay.
We are going to gather, and our patron has accepted to come, so we should come in big numbers.
Definitely, so why not? Now, Professor, as we wind up, let me have your final remark.
Yes. To the Scouts in Uganda, I want you to be brave, to be Scouts. A Scout is peaceful, a Scout is helpful, a Scout is looking for a task to do. So please be Scouts. Let us not move out into other areas that are not about Scouting. So please come to KIGOZI, come to help the younger people than you, come to learn yourself, and you will find that we have a great program for you. We are also hoping that we have a team in Korea right now. They will be back. They will be there to share with you what they have learned. And our Africa office has been invited. We hope they can come and bring us even more skills than you have been able to get from us. So I thank you very much, and I hope you will all come and join us at KIGOZI, 25th to the 30th. But the youth camp is a week earlier. Those of you, the younger youths who have been invited or want to come, please join the youth camp. These are the older ones, not the small ones.
The youth forum.
The youth forum. Join the youth forum, and there is much to learn and much to experience. There's also what we always forget to stress, a lot of fun. Come and dance, come and sing, come and eat meat at the campfire. All of those are things for you to do during the 5 days that you are with us at KIGOZI. Thank you.
Well, very interesting program there, but of course not forgetting the importance of character building by the Scouts, and that goes out to the parents. Please allow, support your children to join this movement. You won't regret. I have to let my visitors go. See you in the next hour. Ruben will be up next with sports updates. Good morning.